Huge news updates coming in this evening with the Ligt and Mazraoui announced, their squad numbers announced, and more. There's a big reaction to that, and that's amazing stuff. But it doesn't stop there. Jorge Mendes in Manchester, flying into England to get Ugarte, his dream deal to United. Some advancements there. United may sign two midfielders depending on sales. Jadon Sancho exit looking increasingly more likely. Use of Fofana, part of a separate deal to Ugarte, and United may bring in Fofana and Ugarte in midfield. We're not out of the Bantamweight race yet. There's potential for that deal to happen. Pelistri set to leave, an inquiry about Chilwell, and Garnacho set to start against Fulham, which could mean Amad Diallo is dropped, which I don't like. But so much news to get into. This is your 10-minute roundup where I'm going to round up all the latest Manchester United news coming in today into 10-minute video for you guys. So please do subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, and let's dive into it. So De Ligt and Mazraoui have been announced as Manchester United players. Absolutely lovely stuff. Ashworth, Ten Hag, De Ligt and Mazraoui all together there, with Dan Ashworth saying Matthias is an outstanding defender and proven winner who will add quality, experience and leadership to our existing group of senior players. De Ligt himself said, as soon as I heard that Manchester United wanted me, I felt excited to join such a historic club. Over 70,000 Bayern Munich fans signed a petition to keep Matthias De Ligt. So if that tells you something, that tells you that this is going to be a good signing, good bit of business. £40 million, turned 25 yesterday. When you look at the centre-back market and prices of other defenders, good deal, played on the 10 before, happy days. Mazraoui as well, player that's played on 10 before, had a really good relationship with Anthony on the right-hand side, can play left-back if needed. Mazraoui said this: Erik ten Hag played an important part in my development as a player, so it's exciting to be reuniting with him as I enter the prime years of my career. I know what he expects from his players and I will give everything to help this group be successful. Mazraoui also said, it's an incredible feeling to be a Manchester United player and I cannot wait to walk out Old Trafford wearing this red shirt. I know that I'm joining the club at an exciting time. Everyone I've spoken to has the same ambition for us to win trophies together and I can feel that determination to achieve that. What he's basically saying is this INEOS project, I'm joining the club at this exciting time, this INEOS project. Dan Ashworth is in, Vivo is in, Barada is in, they've got Euro in, they've got Xerxes in, they've got De Ligt in, I'm in now, which Mazraoui is. Now they're also talking about Ugarte, Fofana, if Sancho goes potentially another attacker. He's saying, I'm joining United at a very, very exciting time. Dan Ashworth then said Mazraoui is a dynamic attacking fullback who can play on the right or left. His experience, versatility and winning mentality will make him an excellent addition to our team as we seek success. So that is the announcements of De Ligt and Mazraoui done, over with, and United aren't stopping there because they're more than ready to get more business done, other deals done. Barada, Ashworth and Ten Hag were in agreement that De Ligt and Mazraoui would be strong additions, both key deals. I know they've played on Ten Hag before. I know they've both had injury issues, but I think they're both very good signings, very good players, and they know Ten Hag's system. And I think with the defensive injuries we've had, we need them at the back because Luke Shaw is injured again, and we will cover that. So Mazraoui reportedly wearing the number 3 shirt. Matthias De Ligt reportedly wearing the number 4 shirt there. And United aren't going to stop there. Dean Jones said this: Erik ten Hag is aiming to make 2 more significant signings after Matthias De Ligt and Mazraoui. Manchester United will consider dipping into the market for a more versatile attacker if Sancho heads through the exit door, which is increasingly likely. I highly recommend you go watch my live show or my late night roundup video I did yesterday with all the news on Sancho leaving. And guys, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe down below because I'm 2 subscribers away from 88.9k as well, and hit that like button. But it was also said Sancho could exit, and they're also mulling over bringing an out-and-out striker due to being desperate to avoid a similar situation to last season. I think with Xerxes and Højlund, we don't need an out-and-out striker. I know Xerxes is not an out-and-out 9, but he can do that job, he can do that role. Going into the Ugarte news, you hear probably about Ugarte. It looks like it's going to be the next signing. United walked away from the deal. They've now gone back into the deal because it looks like PSG are going to lower the fee for Manuel Ugarte. Now, interestingly, Jorge Mendes, Ugarte's agent, is in England to discuss Manuel Ugarte with United. United need the price to be reduced or more sales, otherwise they will go for a cheaper option. It was also said yesterday that Jorge Mendes is doing everything he can to get Ugarte his dream move to United. Ugarte is pushing for the move, and Jorge Mendes' focus, even though he's been working on about 700 deals in the last week, Jorge Mendes' focus is on getting Ugarte to United. United have gone back into PSG, negotiating the Ugarte deal in the last week because there's a feeling that this Ugarte deal is finally going to be done because PSG are finally going to lower the fee and they're getting to get that over the line, although United could drag this out to the final week of the window to make sure they get him for the price that they want. PSG kind of in a weak position where they know they have to sell and probably lower the fee. That looks like it's going to happen. Florian Plettenberg, a really good journalist, said the deal in negotiations for Ugarte is difficult, but it's still on. George Mendes wants to make the Manchester United deal happen, hence why he's flying out to Manchester, heavily working on that deal with United. It's a good relationship with the club. It was also said this is a degree of confidence that a deal will be agreed upon between PSG and United for Ugarte, but likely towards the end of the window so United can get better terms. And then just now by El País, it said United and PSG are close to an agreement for Ugarte after negotiations over the weekend. So there was bigger negotiations in regards to Ugarte over the weekend. We also had a big meeting on Monday to probably talk about the outs and the ins. It looks like something's going to happen after this sort of big meeting at the weekend. The agreement is very close, and PSG are lowering their demands, and Ugarte is pushing for the move. George Mendes is working between United and PSG to try and formulate a deal between two clubs, obviously flying to Manchester to try and get the deal done. So maybe, today, tomorrow, and the next couple of days, we really could get an Ugarte. Here we go. I mean, it could drag to the end of the window. I wouldn't be shocked if it drags to the end of the window, but I think we could generally get a big breakthrough in regards to Ugarte to United in the next day. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I will give you all the updates and go live once we get a done deal for Ugarte. It was said that Manchester United's top officials met on Monday to discuss the strategy for the remainder of the transfer window, and the midfielder is the priority focus between now and deadline day with Ugarte at the top. We will sign a midfielder regardless of sales, guys. If we do sell, we could sign two midfielders, and that United are actively negotiating with PSG right now for Ugarte. And this story literally came out 2 minutes ago by Fabrice Hawkins that we're literally in contact with PSG, negotiating the Ugarte deal right now as we speak as well. There's also other bigger updates coming in, and Jadon Sancho, which I want to dive into. But before I get into the Sancho news, I want to get into the midfield news, the Collier plan, all of that, because I thought this was quite interesting from Sam C. Manchester United expect Toby Collier to grow into someone who fits the number 6 role quicker than any player on the market currently. They see him as sort of a long-term Declan Rice. United will try and sign a midfielder, but it will not be a midfielder that fits the profile that United expect Collier to morph into, Declan Rice, and hinder his development. Ugarte and Fofana are seen as two independent deals where if enough funds are raised, both profiles can be signed. Fofana is seen as cover for Maino and Ugarte. Ugarte is seen as a Casemiro replacement, but the plan is to get rid of Eriksen and McTominay to bring Collier through, which is quite interesting from Sam, because I do think from watching Collier, he could become United's Declan Rice. I think there's a good player there. I think Collier and Mount could almost feel like two new signings in the midfield next season. So what has been said with Jadon Sancho and his potential exit from United? It said that Jadon Sancho wants to play at PSG. Manchester United asked for more than 60 million euros, and no agreement is expected to be reached because it's not an easy deal. 60 million euros is 50 million pounds. I think we're doing that because they're asking for the exact same with Ugarte. We're willing to sell Sancho for 40 million. We're asking for 50 million because they were willing to sell Ugarte for 40 million. They're now asking for 50 million. I get why United are doing that. Apparently, PSG offered him a salary of 17 million euros a year, Sancho. He wants to go to PSG, as apparently that, and PSG are working on the Sancho deal, and they asked United about price. So there could be some big developments with Sancho to PSG. I think Sancho's going to leave. I think McTominay could leave. I think Pellistri will leave. I think Eriksen could leave. I think Mazraoui will leave. I think Lindelof will leave. And I think there could be 3 or 4 more signings, 2 midfielders and an attacker, and potentially someone at fullback. In terms of exits, Bologna and Cagliari have both moved for Facundo Pellistri in recent hours. Pellistri to Italy is one to watch. And it was also said that Manchester United don't want to spend more than 60 million on Jarrad Branthwaite, and their interest could go to the wire. Manchester United have been loosely interested in Ben Chilwell. He's now assessing his options, and that Chelsea board are also unlikely to stand in his way if they receive a suitable offer between now and August 30th, is what else has been said. So Chilwell was one to watch, but I don't really see it happening. I think we'd probably look at Reguilon because of Chilwell being injury prone. But Jarrad Branthwaite's another one to watch. It could go to the wire, but again, I don't see Branthwaite happening unless we make a load of money through sales, aka Maguire goes. I don't see Branthwaite happening. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the reason we are looking at fullbacks, particularly left backs, is because shock. Luke Shaw has picked up a calf injury. The left back will hopefully be back after international break. He's expected to come back mid-September after picking up a calf injury. Jamie Jackson is saying there is hope that the left back position I hope that in the left back position, Harry Amos can be this term's Kobbie Mainoo, a breakthrough youngster with Shaw and Malacia injured. The problem is Malacia is a year younger than Mainoo, not Malacia. Harry Amos is a year younger than Mainoo was this time last year. In fact, a year and a half younger than Mainoo. So, actually like a year and 2 months younger than Mainoo. So there's definitely a few question marks around, is he ready and physically ready? Because I think he's technically ready. It's just the physical ability. But I think Harry Amos in the future definitely has a future at United. He looks like an absolute baller. But it's such a shame with Luke Shaw injured again. The poor boy just can't stay fit. And in other news, Garnacho's expected to start for Manchester United against Fulham. I would have started Ahmad on the right, unless he's dropping Rashford and playing Garnacho on the left, but I don't see that happening. I think Ahmad deserves to start on the right because of how good he's been in pre-season, but not totally surprised if Ahmad gets dropped for Garnacho, but I think Garnacho off the bench against tired legs is cheat code. So personally, I think that could have been smart. Fabrizio Romano's just retweeted his post about Jadon Sancho to PSG. So there definitely could be some developments going on in regards to Sancho to PSG. So definitely keep an eye on that, guys. But I'm going to round up the video here because we're at the 10-minute mark. Please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.